A man is arrested after allegedly stealing a car and leading Brooklyn Park police on a high-speed chase. Reporter Sonia Goins has more on what led up to that chaotic chase.
Brooklyn Park police are crediting the staff here at Zanewood Rec with helping them to catch a suspected carjacker.
First carjacking of the year.
According to Brooklyn Park police, the staff at Zanewood Recreation Center thought a driver in the parking lot was acting suspicious on Tuesday night and called 911.
He was driving around the parking lot with his finger out the window. The staff thought that he was making a notion of a gun with his finger.
When officers arrived on the scene, they determined the man was connected to a carjacking that took place at the McDonald's off West Broadway on Sunday night.
When they responded out there, were able to run the license plate and determine it was the vehicle that was actually carjacked.
Police tried to stop the driver as he was leaving the parking lot, but he took off and a chase started on County Road 81. Officers tried several times to stop the vehicle. They eventually used a pit maneuver to end the chase.
It was forced off the road with a pit. And so, it spun off into the ditch after that point, so it wasn't a serious crash.
Meanwhile, Brooklyn Park police are thankful Zanewood staff acted quickly when they noticed something didn't seem right.
They did a great job last night.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, Ccx News.
The man is currently being held at the Brooklyn Park jail. He's facing charges of carjacking and fleeing a peace officer. The last remaining suspect sought by Plymouth police in the November fatal shooting of a Rogers High School teenager has turned himself into police. Plymouth police announced Tuesday the arrest of 19-year-old Hans Madave of New Hope. He was wanted for probable cause murder. He is one of 3 suspects police have now arrested in connection with this case. The shooting occurred in the parking lot of the Four Seasons Estates Apartments in Plymouth. A 19-year-old Plymouth man has been charged with second-degree murder in the case. According to the criminal charges, the suspects offered to sell a pair of designer shoes to the victim before he was fatally shot. The victim was identified as 17-year-old Yassine Johnson, a student at Rogers High School. If you've had a hard time getting your hands on children's fever-reducing medication, you're not alone. The Food and Drug Administration says a nationwide shortage of pediatric ibuprofen and acetaminophen supplies continues to persist. Delane Cleveland joins us with more. Delane?
Shannon, the FDA says there's been an increase in demand for pediatric medication going back to last fall. It coincides with an increase in respiratory illnesses in children.
So we had COVID, flu, and RSV. It hit earlier than typically, and it's been with us for quite a while. So the manufacturers could keep up with the demand.
Tara Tyndall is a pharmacist from the Hennepin Healthcare Clinic in Brooklyn Park. Like other pharmacies, the clinic has had a hard time keeping medications in stock.
Here are a few of the products.
Tyndall uses the word unprecedented to describe the shortage, and it's uncertain when inventory will get back to normal. Hennepin Healthcare advises patients to talk to their pharmacist to see if there are alternatives, such as chewable medication or suppositories, in case they can't find exactly what they're looking for.
Definitely a pharmacist is a great resource here as well. And what we can do is ask how much your child weighs. And I wouldn't recommend doing this at home using adult versions, but a pharmacist can take the weight, the age of the child, and recommend using like crushing or cutting adult doses in half. But again, definitely talk to your doctor or pharmacist before doing that by yourself.
Meanwhile, in December, Walgreens had implemented an online purchase limit for over-the-counter fever-reducing products to prevent excess purchasing. But the company decided to remove that purchase limit this week due to improved inventory.
Robbinsdale is the latest city to pass ordinances allowing the sales of products with THC, which is the active ingredient in marijuana. Suburbs enacted temporary moratoriums late last summer while they created city licensing and zoning for the legal sale of products containing THC. Robbinsdale's THC moratorium will be lifted on February 16th. Council members say the process allowed them to hear feedback from people in the community.
That's what we want to hear. We want to hear from the people. And so although I know people weren't happy initially, the process was for the people. It was to hear what you had to say.
The city says they do not have any businesses yet who have started the process to obtain a license. A long overdue cooling trend. That's one way realtors are describing the local housing market.
Frantic bidding and drive-by home buying have given way to thoughtful negotiations between buyers and sellers.
At a press conference Wednesday, realtors took a look at what's ahead in 2023. They said the housing market's craziness of the past couple of years is far from the norm and is returning to pre-pandemic levels. Cities that saw the most home sales in 2022 included Maple Grove, Plymouth, and Brooklyn Park. But those cities also saw what was described as a staggering drop in sales last fall.
I don't think there's anything regional that ties into that area that makes it different as a metro area in general. I think it's just that we saw that reaction to a market, an interest rate that felt like it changed overnight.
Also on the horizon, realtors say there's more interest in tiny homes and accessory dwelling units. Golden Valley, for instance, recently approved an ordinance legalizing accessory dwelling units, considered by city officials as a really important tool to create more affordable housing options for seniors. Wednesday morning was perfect for a snowy walk in the woods, and students from Champlin Park High School got to do just that at Mississippi Gateway Regional Park.
We just wanted to take it outside. We live in Minnesota, and so making friendships and bringing that outside and enjoying the nature around us and taking advantage of what Minnesota has to offer.
Students in the Unified Club spent the morning snowshoeing, playing outdoor sports, and making snow art in Brooklyn Park. The Unified Club aims to create a school climate where students with disabilities feel welcome and included in activities.
And it's just so heartwarming to see and so fun to see everyone connecting with each other and building that inclusion and everything. And we still have a long ways to go, but it's definitely building at Champlin Park, and I'm excited for the future for Unified.
This is the first time the Unified Club hosted what they called the Unified Invite out at the park.
After 3 straight close losses to start the season, the Wayzata boys basketball team came into this week riding a 7-game winning streak. The 7th-ranked Trojans hosted 11-1 and 5th-ranked Hopkins Tuesday night. Head coaches Ken Novak Jr. and Brian Schnettler chatting it up before this Big Lake Conference matchup. A good start for the Royals. They are pushing the pace early. Anthony Smith hits a corner 3 to give Hopkins a 12-6 lead. Jaden Moore finds an opening, drives baseline and scores as Hopkins' lead grows to 9 points. But Wayzata answers with a 10-2 scoring run, capped by this 3-pointer from Hayden Tibbetts, one of 14 made threes for the Trojans on the night. Jackson McAndrew had a huge night. His long 3 helped put Wayzata up 32-26 at halftime. Second half, the Trojans break it open. Jake Schmidt with an open look at a 3. He hits it. All 13 of his points come in the second half. Smith trying to keep the Royals close, hits 3-pointers on back-to-back possessions, but it's not enough this night to keep up with the Trojans. Spencer Hall, a great baseline drive and a reverse layup for 2. 15 points in the game for the senior, and the Trojans extend their lead. Drew Nepstead grabs an offensive rebound, passes out to McAndrew, who drops in another 3 ball. He finishes the night with 27 points. Wayzata in transition here. Schmidt to Tibbetts for 3 more. Wayzata wins big, 89-64 the final after a slow start shooting the ball for the Trojans.
Thought it was a good game. Started off a little rough in the first half. Shots weren't going down, but we turned up at the end of the first half and the second and got the job done.
Those schools also played in girls basketball Tuesday, with the top-ranked and unbeaten Royals beating the Trojans 57-50. It's been a good season for the Cooper girls basketball team. The 12-2 Hawks look to stay unbeaten in Tri-Metro Conference games on Tuesday. The Hawks looking to push their conference record to 6-0, taking on a good Holy Angels team. First half highlights: Zoe Simmons knocks down a 3-pointer for Cooper, putting them ahead 8-3. Soma Kamara with a pass in the paint as Zaira Turner-Stensrud, who scores with a nice scoop shot. Cooper leads at halftime, but it's a low-scoring game, just 18-11 Hawks. Second half, Stensrud open on the baseline. She knocks down the jumper. And then watch this. They pressure the inbound, and Bree Frazier steals the ball and goes in to score. The Hawks lead by 5. But Holy Angels rallies. Good quick passes here by the Stars, and it results in an open 3-point look for Vivian Carter, who drills it. Holy Angels is in the lead. Late in the game, Kiera O'Rourke gets past her defender and takes it in alone for the layup. Holy Angels wins 36-32. Cooper is now 12-3 overall and 5-1 in the conference. Maple Grove's girls hockey team blanked Centennial Spring Lake Park 2-0 in the first game of the season. The rematch came Tuesday night in Maple Grove. Jason Malillo has the highlights.
6th-ranked Maple Grove hosting 9th-ranked Centennial Spring Lake Park in girls hockey. First period, Stella Retram snaps the shot and goal as the Crimson draw first blood. 31 seconds later, Kelsey Olson gets control of the puck in front and tucks it in for a power play marker, and it's 2-0 Grove. Second period, Abby Sillerud chips the puck below the dot, and Abby Oakland fires it home. MG up 3-rip. 19 seconds into the third period, Ella O'Hearn redirects Lauren O'Hara's shot in, and the Cougars are on the board. MG gets it right back, though, as Retram sets up Grace Erickson for the one-timer. Retram creates again, threading the needle to Bella Shipley, and she scores. Maple Grove wins 5-1. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.